back to another episode of On the Capo Stand. I am your host, David, and alongside joining me here in microseconds are our good friends, John. John, how you doing?
Doing all right, David. How are you?
Fantastic, my friend. And of course, the best thing that ever happened, aside from the pyramids, out of Egypt, our good friend Ahmed. How you doing, Ahmed?
Hey David, John, how are you, gents? Happy Monday, happy playoff officially started week.
That's right. That's right. Playoffs, baby. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Everywhere we go. Watching Orlando. Putting on a show. That's right. That's right. And let me throw one in Spanish too, because I can't leave my people out. Volveremos, volveremos, volveremos otra vez. Volveremos a ser campeones como la primera vez. We're gonna be champions once again, just like the first time. So
Nice.
there's the translation. And so I'm super excited, guys. The season is officially over. The regular season, that is. Playoffs are happening. We're gonna be talking about a bunch of different things. But first, and if you see me here, I'm struggling here with the board just for a second. News around the league. News around the league. Well, before we do that, let me tell you where you can find us. We're live on Twitch at On the Capo Stand. We're live on X at On the Capo Stand. We're live on YouTube at David's Channel 76. We're on Instagram at On the Capo Stand. We're live on Facebook On the Capo Stand podcast. We are also on TikTok at On the Capo Stand and on Threads at On the Capo Stand. So you can follow our content in those apps, those platforms, and also you can watch us live. Please let your friends know that we are here. If you want to be on the show, you want to be like this gentleman here. We're talking about whatever it is that you fancy. Send us a DM on one of these apps, and we'll happily send you the link so you can join us. So, news around the league. First things first, from good sources that will not reveal their names. The away kid that is coming out next year is going to pay homage to our USL era. Super excited about that. I ask because I know you're gonna ask me. Is it gonna be red? Is the kid gonna be red? And I was told no, but it's gonna be something that if you're from the USL era, and even if you are not, you're gonna enjoy very much. MLS Next champs for 2023, Austin FC 2. Congratulations to them, dethroning Columbus 2. Jacqueline, who I had the pleasure of meeting this past week, humble young man, which it's hard not to wish him the best. Jacqueline has been declared the 2023 MLS Next Pro MVP and Golden Boot. So congratulations to the young lion. Also, the playoff dates are out. We're gonna be talking about that. There's some rumors about Ricardo Moreira going to DC. Also, Oscar Pareja, the question still out there. There's some juicy behind the scenes stuff that we're gonna share with you, and also there's some the league posted clean sheet records and goals pair 90, and of course on clean sheets, El Pulpo Galese, Pedro El Pulpo Galese was included in that prestigious list, and on goals per 90, who else? The Nebraskan assassin, Duncan McGuire, is it's quite up there with players that make four times what he gets paid. And there's also a rumor that Facundo Torres might be on the move. So we're gonna be talking about all those things. First, I'm gonna give the microphones to John and Ahmed so they can talk about whatever is in their heart. Since we missed last week, we all went on international duty, as you guys know. So, John, let's start with you because
Yes.
I know you
Speaking
have
of
a lot to
international
say.
duty, tonight we have Thomas Williams and Alexander Freeman starting for the U19s against Brazil in the Pan American Games. So congratulations to those guys. And then you forgot to mention about the international break, Duncan scoring the goal
for the national
for the U23s. That was a fantastic goal, precursor to what he did.
Filthy.
Yeah.
All right, Ahmed. What else you got for us?
I mean, I think you guys have it all covered.
All right. Well, I'm gonna give you the mic next because why not? What's your opinion on this guy? Ricardo Moreira is rumored to be the top choice for DC United as a new GM. Ricardo has interviewed with teams in Brazil and in England. Um, I have to tell you, I'm going to be very impartial here. I know Ricardo Moreira personally. He is a fantastic person, hard worker. It's a man that in the off season will be at the office on a Saturday, on a Sunday, watching videos, traveling. He personally oversaw the signing of Gonzalez, of Torres, of Araujo. I mean, he was. I mean, the guy is a one man army. The success that we have today is thanks to him. I understand that professionally, probably he has aspirations to be the number one guy, and who can blame him? I know that his family likes it here. As a Brazilian, there's a big community here, and and the weather is better than DC's. I can tell you that. I've been to that part of the country many, many times. So that's what's going on with that. And about Oscar Pareja, what we were told was that the club gambled and lost in the sense that they had Pareja as a backup plan. Tite was the guy they wanted. Tite was like, well, team is doing great. I think you're gonna pull the trigger with Pareja. I'm not gonna wait here. I'm not somebody's second plate. Decided to go and get a job. And now, if the club's still considering Pareja, it's gonna cost money. It's gonna cost more money that if they would have signed him or extend him back in the summer. So that's an interesting side of events. And if Ricardo moves on, Pareja stays, or Ricardo leaves, or says this combination, because we have to give honor to where honors due. Oscar Pareja definitely has a lot to do with the turnaround of the club. So, Ahmed, your opinions, impressions about the possibility of being without the talisman of Ricardo Moreira, and perhaps Oscar Pareja saying, you did not love me when the chips were down, and I may just leave, or if I stay, you're gonna have to pay me more.
Yeah. I mean, as far as Ricardo goes, I think that's probably a bigger issue for us than most people realize, right? Because a lot of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes um, is a result of that, and I think it's one of those things that people overlook a lot. And I was just looking it up. There was a graphic that somebody had posted about a week ago showing all the salaries. Um,
Yeah,
salaries
we're dead last in that list.
for what reason, though, right? That has a lot to do with it. Ricardo has a lot to do with it, right? In that sense, and picking that talent that we see coming in, day out. We have these guys that we have now. It's about having that insight to see that
Mhm.
talent nobody does, to bring it in at that right time. Those are going to be bigger shoes to fill than any of the other conversations we've been having. I feel, and I don't even know that much, but I know from what I've seen in the team that worries me more than the other conversation that we've been having the majority of the season.
No, absolutely.
But it's a
John, if you don't,
result of it, though. And what worries me, I saw a post on Twitter that I guess last year
yeah.
they had stopped him from interviewing, but this year they didn't.
Wow. Okay.
Right? I don't know who Tom Bogert
Yeah.
is, but he said after initially being rejected permission to interview Orlando, recently granted DC ability to speak to him.
Wow. Okay.
So I
Okay.
don't know who he is. Seems to. I mean, you may know who he is, but for them to say yes, you can interview him. Well,
No, for sure. I mean, listen, the club has always said, and I'll give the microphone to John. The club, I'm just gonna say this real quick. The club has always said there will never be obstacles for somebody's career. So if he has to go, like I said, it's gonna hurt me. Okay, but we always say managers and players come and go. In this
Yeah.
case, staffers go. The supporter remains. John, if you don't mind reading these comments before giving us your impressions on the subject.
Yeah, Jared Quackenbush didn't realize it was karaoke night on the show. Hello, gentlemen. Hey, Jared.
Hey, what's happening? By the way, I saw Jared the last game. Thank you very much, my friend, for making the effort to come to my section to say hello. It's always good
Dave,
to
I
see
think this
you.
one's for
And
you with your lovely singing voice, if you don't mind singing that.
what's that? Oh,
I said, yeah, if you want to sing that, because I'm not singing right now.
okay. No one likes us. I don't even know the tune, so I'm gonna. No one likes us. No one likes us. We are Orlando, and we don't care. Okay.
There you go.
All right, Jim.
Thanks,
That's
Jim.
good.
And then Jim D continues second in the league Monday evening, 1900-hour home match, then a Tuesday night away match on election day.
Oh
Don Gardner.
wow. Okay. Okay. That. Yeah. Don Garver. God bless him. For not for everybody is election. I live in the city of Orlando, so yeah, it's time to vote. I completely forgot. That's how important a lot of people think that city elections are. Um, you know, at we all know Buddy Dyer is gonna win. I mean, the guy is has more to do with Orlando City being here than any other politician. He has been a true fan of the club. And I think he's a great administrator. So I guess David Valentin is endorsing Buddy Dyer for mayor. So there you go. So yeah, if you have municipal elections in Florida on Tuesday, go vote. It's a right, a privilege that we have, and one that yours truly fought to defend. So go ahead and do that. And but aside from that, it's Halloween. This coming up Tuesday, of course, Orlando City is going to be why hold this, guys? The dates are out. I have to tell you, I am as disappointed as everybody else with the game date. If this was on, while I'm on light duty working out of the office, but if I was still on, traveling for my regular job, there's a good chance I would have not been in Orlando. And I understand the frustration for everybody in Marion County, in Polk, in Sumter, down in Tampa, in the Tampa Bay area, Southwest Florida, all the way down the Treasure Coast, all the way up to Jacksonville, Gainesville, all those guys in the Panhandle that love this club as much as everybody else. Unless they take the day off, it's just gonna be an impossibility. So our first game is gonna be at home, round one, and that's gonna be October 30th at 7 p.m. And then we're gonna hit the road November 7th, which I believe is a Tuesday at 9 p.m. I don't understand why these guys get the further in the night. Although some people were like, "Hey, my kid has school the next day." I don't think so. I think 7 p.m. is good. And then, if necessary, November 12th at 5 p.m. It's going to be a home game. I don't know about you guys, but going into downtown Orlando on a weekday between 5 and 7 is as easy as bathing a cat, an angry cat at that. So, obviously, we're gonna be talking about the game in Toronto, but I just want to get your impressions on the dates for the playoffs. I felt a lot of the lower seeded teams got the weekend, and we got a Monday. It's gonna do wonders for our attendance. Which, of course, I'm being sarcastic. Go ahead, guys. Let's start with you, John, and then down to Ahmed.
I mean, I suppose since I saw when the potential matches came out, it was going to be the 30th. The rumor around the stadium after the New England match was, yeah, we're playing the 30th. I honestly wasn't surprised. Preemptively, I already took the 31st off, fully expecting it to be that. that day, so I could recuperate the day after the match. And it's just Don Garber running the clown show he runs. That is the people that run the MLS, and and this is just a sign of things to come for next year. I mean, we got what 2 months of Messi and co down in Miami. We get a whole season of them next year. So if we think this is something, just wait until next year, and when the clown shows, really rolling, and they have a full season to milk that cash cow as much as they can until they get too tired to play in about mid-March.
There you go. Ahmed,
I think it's a joke with the dates, honestly. Also, I've been watching a whole bunch of games on the same day. All season.
yeah, yeah, that sucks. I'm gonna tell you because the thing that I hate is the fact that I like to watch games. I'm a football fan. I want to see what's going on, and for all the games to be played at the same time takes away from the experience. Because if I'm at the stadium, I'm not watching anything else. You know what I mean?
I'm with you, but I'm just saying there's enough days that they could have scheduled things differently. Plus,
I agree.
we don't hear about any dates till what, like 2 days ago? But conveniently, they know when the final is. Right?
That's
So
very true.
they could have posted all these dates way in advance, I feel like. Because you may not know what teams are playing what, but you
No,
know that
that's true.
you could do just like you did second place, seventh place, all that stuff, and but give people that notice. Especially for the people who already bought their tickets. You bought a ticket and you're wondering, am I even going to be able to go? Because you don't know the date. Like that kind of left me. I was a little sour about that, I'll say.
No,
I don't know if
I'm
you
with you,
guys
man.
remember the shirt Barstool came out with, probably 10 years ago now, that had Roger Goodell, the NFL commissioner, wearing the clown face with the paint and the nose and everything. I really want to make one of those with Don Garber's face. I can't stand that guy. He's killing the sport in this country, and it's gone such a long way, and then everything that's happened the last 3-4 months is just taking it back a couple steps.
No, I'm with you guys. Hopefully next year we'll have a better understanding of what I like. I understand decision day. All the games should be played at once, right, to prevent teams to collude with each other. I think that's fantastic. We obviously inherited that from the World Cup, and pretty much every league does that around the world. Understandable, but last year is like you know I missed this where you could catch a game on Friday. There was always the Wednesday games where your team wasn't playing and you had the opportunity to go watch other teams. I am a fan of the league, believe it or not, and I'm a fan of football, and I love that. And like for the leagues of the teams that I follow overseas, everybody plays at once, so I never get to see the opponent unless I purposely go online and look at the highlights of their games.
Mm-hmm.
And so that has always been the one thing that MLS did right was the Friday night games. NFL has, excuse me, games on Thursdays, games on Monday, and the ones on Sunday. And Monday night football is a thing, right? The Monday night football and Thursday night football, they're a thing. Why can't we have the same thing? Why can't we have a day of the week where we put the best teams, right? Or the rivalries. In my opinion, I think we could be doing that, or set up like play a bunch of games, maybe one weekend where it's Saturday's heavy on games, and then Sunday you have the selected games. This is how you build fandom, but um,
Well, and
evidently,
even then, David, I want to say it was Eli, the LA Galaxy supporter, has
yeah,
a
I know who
huge
you're.
show.
Mhm.
Yeah, is it Nesser? Is his last
Yeah.
name?
Mhm.
Um, I can't remember if it was him or somebody else made the statement, because somebody basically said, "Oh, well, they don't want to go up against college football and the NFL. That's why they spaced it out." And whoever the blogger was, came back and said, "But it's the playoffs." The
Thank
MLS
you.
isn't going to be taken serious. The playoffs aren't going to be taken serious until you take those big spots on Saturday and Sunday afternoons and challenge those leagues, because this is the playoffs. This is supposed to be the most important time of the year in the MLS, and they're just kind of treating it as, oh, nobody's going to watch, so we'll move this game to a Friday, this game to a Monday, and it's not a big deal. And
Yeah.
nobody's going to take it serious.
And
No,
that's
for
why
sure.
I haven't published any of the remainder of the dates. I mean, I find it like fine. I get this whole Monday, Wednesday fiasco because fine, they decided to do the best of three in round one. I would like to think that the remaining rounds are not going to be like all over the place. You know that they know when they're going to be, so put the potential dates. I mean, is it really that difficult? I
And
don't
it's
think
not like they even crammed them in either, because we got 8 days between the first match and the second match, and then 5 days between the second match and the third match. Like,
Mhm.
you either cram them in or you have, a home and away and do an aggregate. None of this best of three crap. This isn't the NBA. This isn't Major League Baseball. This isn't the NHL. It's either home and away, aggregate, or a single elimination.
I'd rather have single elimination. It was more cutthroat. The I'm getting myself a little bit ahead. But I'm gonna leave you with this cliffhanger before we go to the Toronto game and then return to the playoffs talk. What happens if we lose the first game of this series? In years past, that would have meant bye bye. See you guys later, right? And we have said that as a club, we have to go beyond the first round because I want to remind everybody that the team that took us out last year did not make playoffs this year. Dun dun dun. And last year, after taking us out, they went down the very next game. Nashville, who are we playing, barely made playoffs this year and took us out the year before that, and it went out the first on the second round. So it's not like they were destined for glory. So I want to see the reaction of people. If God forbid, because listen, I am rooting for the boys of the 407 321 689 because I just found out we have another area code added to our metro area. So I'm rooting for the local boys. I'm like, people always say, "Oh, you want Pareja to lose because you hate him." Listen, you moron. I don't. It's like me on an airplane rooting that our pilot has a heart attack and the co-pilot jumps out, jumps through the window. You know what I mean? Come on. But anyways, guys, we're gonna leave it like that, and then we're gonna be moving on. We're gonna be returning to that question because it will be interesting to see if that happens. How will the fan base respond? But guys, we have a comment here. I want to read this before we move on. Man, if you do the favors.
Sure, Jim D says, and I think we have an international break during the playoffs. That's nonsense.
Oh, geez, you gotta be kidding me.
Wow.
Come on, MLS. Come on now. Don't do me like that. I have done nothing. I'll give you my time, my money, my love, and this is how you pay me back. Sickening. All right, guys. So, wow, Jim, you just took the air the wind out of my sails,
I
my
did
friend.
not know that.
No, me neither, brother.
Yeah, the November window is sometime in the middle of the month, right in the SmackDown.
Makes no sense, but it is what it is, right? All right, guys. So Toronto away. We said before going up there, let's play the kids, and the kids indeed played this game. Toronto had nothing to play for. They were already eliminated. They are the 2023 Wooden Spoon winner, if you can say winner to that. It's an embarrassment, a humiliation. This was our starting 11. Enrique, Gonzalez, Ojeda, Junior Urso, Felipe Martins, Cesar Araujo, Petrazo, Schlegel, Carlos, Holiday, and Sadahar. And on the bench, we have Pereira, who ended up playing, Jansen, who came in, Greenwest, Kyle Smith, who came in, Ivan Angulo, who came in, Rafael Santos as on a new sub, DDT, Thorhausen on new sub, Facundo Torres on new sub, and Duncan McGuire, who came in to wreck the league. Duncan McGuire is on fire, plain and simple. Um, Guys, I'm gonna give you the timeline, and there's only one person to talk about because this guy came in, set the game on fire, and left with a smile on his face. 63rd minute, this man single handedly sent the honoree of the night. The honoree of the night was sent into retirement. Michael Bradley, my friends, was murdered, murdered in this goal on the 63rd minute.
Yeah.
There's two things that Hispanics will cut your throat for on the pitch. One is to be nutmeg. We all know that, right? The other one is el sombrerito, the little hat, which is exactly what Duncan does over this veteran. After this happened, I just saw images of Michael on a rocking chair with a cold drink, with those umbrellas, and a good book. Because if somebody, if I could, I wouldn't sleep. I wouldn't sleep if I'm Bradley. I wouldn't sleep. That people are gonna remember you for this. And then because Duncan McGuire is a savage, can control himself. On the 74th minute, he scores another goal, making Michael Bradley look like the old man that he is. Savage, savage, savage. The second goal was with an assist of the one and only Kyle Smith, the tax man, who I met this past week. What a great guy. The pride of Cincinnati, aside from present company. And on the 63rd minute, making history. The goal was assisted by none only than Mason Sutterhart, making it for the first time in our club history. I don't know if in USL, correct me if I'm wrong, uh, but Mason had the assist on the goal. Insane. Guys, let's start with you. Ahmed, your impressions. This kid came back. He's on fire. And just so you let you know, he was one goal away from getting himself on the in the Golden Boot race.
I know.
So
That was the first thing my son said to me. He was like, "Wait, he got the golden boot," and he was like, "No, he's not in the golden boot race." Amazing game by Duncan. Amazing game by the guys. I think we played well. Um, for me, I was looking at it like this. I wanted to see how the guys would play relaxed because there was no pressure. This we talked about this. If we threw away this game, no problem, right?
hmm
For me, it was a chance for a lot of these guys to show what they could do. To show, it's their chance to shine. No pressure. What better way to play than without the pressure? That's the part that I was a little disappointed in. I mean, we really didn't do much till Duncan showed up. I'll say, right? And we had some close missed opportunities and chances that we almost gave up that we shouldn't. That actually worries me about the future in the next couple of weeks. Right, there were some mistakes that happened that had this not been the last game and had this been round one, you're talking about what games are we going to have, right? That could be those kinds of mistakes that I saw could be the difference between a game three or no game three,
hmm
no game two. It was just, yeah. So I think we played a great game. Duncan came in and changed it. When they talk about bringing in a sub and they changed the game, that game went from like drive to like hyperdrive the minute that boy came in. He was a representation of when they talk about making a sub and they change the pace. Boom. That's great guy, great game.
Another story. John, before you give us your comment, if you don't mind reading this.
Yeah, Jim D, goals per 90. I can't pronounce his name. The
Giacomo,
forward from Atlanta, 0.85, and Duncan with 0.84, first and second place. 0.01 difference for a non DP rookie. Amazing.
Incredible, indeed.
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah, everybody knows how good Duncan, amazing goal. Second goal was nearly just as good. But hats off to Robin Janssen and Cesar Araujo. Both guys made appearances in every single match, league match we had this year.
Wow.
Janssen led the team in minutes. And then this is a stat that blew my mind. Araujo led the league in fouls drawn with 100, 20 more than the next closest person.
I think
Wow.
those 20 were probably in his first 3 matches.
So, yeah, I mean, what can you say about a game that doesn't really mean anything? It kind of shows you it showed me anyway. What we've been saying basically all season is that Duncan is a savage. He's out there to win the game no matter what, do whatever it takes to win the game. And he proved that when he came in. The guys for the first 62 odd minutes had just kind of treated it as, a walkthrough, not real serious and all of that. And he comes on, and all of a sudden he gets a long ball from Adam and flicks it over Bradley and hits just one of the purest volleys you'll see from a tight angle just on the edge of the box. That it should win goal of the week. It's not, because everybody has Acosta and Cincinnati on the tip of their tongue right now. I didn't see the voting last. If you're listening to this and you haven't voted on Twitter and you have a Twitter or an X, go on MLS's page, vote for Duncan McGuire goal of the week or goal of the match day, because he deserves it. Here's how much the MLS hates us, to go back on what we were talking before. They cut out the flick over the head of Bradley with Duncan's goal, so it just looked like he had a sitting volley on the edge of the penalty area.
My goodness.
Those touches on that goal, man.
Yeah.
One of the things that upsets me is every year when we have to see that stupid goal by Wayne Rooney, it shows it in all its majesty, right? Humiliating majesty. And when it comes to a young American that is yet to write the end of his career, we do that to him. Because it was Michael Bradley, because his father, coach in this league and probably, know some people in the front office. Nah, no. Michael Bradley will tell you that football is cruel and unpredictable, and that's how it is, man. You don't steal the glory from one up and coming player because this old man that should have retired years ago couldn't keep up. So how it is, man. It's the cruelty. I guarantee you, Messi would have done that.
Oh
That would be on rotation in all their platforms.
Well, it
So
wouldn't
don't
even
give me
just
that.
been the MLS. It would have been ESPN, Fox Sports, CB. Everybody would have had it on there. And I mean, now Duncan did get a lot of notoriety from media outlets with his goal for the national team. He was on Morning Footy on Paramount on the Golasso network, which was cool. If you didn't get a chance to listen to that, we shared it on our page, or you can, I'm sure, look it up on the Paramount Plus, the app, their streaming app.
Mm-hmm.
And then people all over the world of soccer has been sharing his goal because it was that amazing. First the flick over, then the perfect touch to set it up, where he just basically had to take a step, wait for the ball to come down, and then punch it home. Just was incredible. But and I mean, the thing that worries me about this past Saturday is the two guys that we were most excited to see this year play in the purple and gold, and especially Gonzalez. He was a non-factor. I know he's been injured. He's only gotten a couple appearances, but he didn't really do anything. And then other than Duncan's goals, it was a pretty,
It was a game that was going to end up 0-0. Just said it, John. I mean, let's not be afraid to say it. And as big as I was with Gonzalez, everybody knows the story here. How I found out, how I had my contacts in South America, letting me know what was going on months before he was signed. But our detractors will never give us any praise. He has been underwhelming. There's some flashes there of what he can do, but definitely he's not the player that we signed from Unión de Santa Fe. I just
neither is
want
Ojeda. Ojeda was a non-factor too. That guy was supposed to be,
Mhm.
you
He's a
know,
DP.
yeah. We tried to sign him for what, 2.5, 3 years, maybe at least 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
and he hasn't. He's been one of the few flops the front office has had.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'll just leave it at that because David and I talked for an hour and a half about that Friday night. And we won't suffer you guys through that.
No, for sure. And I want to give you guys this key piece of information. And before that, by the way, Ahmed and John already touched on this. The game was what it was until our starters came in, and the game then was what it was. Just want to let you know that Duncan McGuire, out of the University of Creighton, was the number 6 pick in this 2023 MLS draft. He was the NCAA, and that's the National North American College Athletic Association, if I'm not mistaken. For those that are watching us or listening to us outside of the United States, he was basically at the university level. He was the Player of the Year. So he was number 6. Who was picked before this man? Charlotte picked Hamadi Diop. Orlando City traded Juan to get Shaq Mohammed, who has spent the season primarily in OCB. Colorado got Moise Bombito. New England got Joshua Boba, and Vancouver Whitecaps got JC Ngando. I don't know who these people are except for Shaq Mohammed because he plays in Orlando. Some of these guys probably have to show identification to get in the stadium. But the fact is, Duncan McGuire, there was 4 other teams that passed on Duncan McGuire. I gotta tell you, and I'm not saying this because I'm an Orlando City fan. When we go to the draft, we know how to pick him. We sure do know how to pick him because, and I'm gonna say something that is gonna be shocking to you guys. You guys know I am super honest, and I say the things that a lot of people don't want to say. But there's a reason why I'm on 6 or 7 Twitter accounts for a reason. Duncan McGuire is the type of player that MLS should be salivating over. He's a white kid from Omaha, Nebraska. You know what was the last time Omaha, Nebraska had a prolific goal scorer? The last time. I gotta tell you, it was over 30 years ago, and his name was Jason Christ. And I apologize if I didn't give you a warning to sit down or hold on to something sturdy before I threw that fact. The fact of the matter is, this kid is from flyover country. I lived in Oklahoma. I have visited Utah, Arizona. I lived in Texas. I mean, I've been around that part of the country, and there's nothing there. There's nothing there, guys. And from there, and you could argue that DK, from Oklahoma City. What's in Oklahoma City, right? But DK is of Nigerian parents, so football was already in the blood. This is a guy that comes from the heartland where it's Friday nights football, American football, and this is where I lived in small town USA when I lived in Oklahoma and Texas, and in those towns of 500-600 people. When the high school is playing, it's the region shuts down, the county shuts down. This is where this young man is coming from, and for him to have picked the beautiful game is a testimony of his talents. And I am willing to say Duncan McGuire is not going to be here next year. If he has a 2024 in form, in shape like this, guys, go Friday to the Publix in Oviedo because you're not going to see that young man next year. Go there, and when you go, let him know how much he means to you. He needs to hear that from you. Guys, anything else before we move on? And I'm sorry that I monopolized the microphone there for a minute, but it's a fact because you know what? Duncan McGuire, MLS, the fact is that that's what we need to do. When we see American players, let's build them up because we're quick to talk about South American Wonder kids that failed. Everybody remembers Barco, that fraud that ended up costing Atlanta United millions, and he's riding the bench in Argentina right now. For that guy, you went all out. For the American player, because let me remind everybody that the MLS, one of the reasons why we have a national league is because it was to develop American players, and we have sort of steered away from that for a little bit.
Well,
And
and
but
you bring up an interesting point because I was actually thinking about it today.
yeah, but
Obviously just coming off the international break, and seeing what the U.S. men's national team has versus we played Germany, looked good the first half, looked terrible the second half, and then Ghana looked really good the first half, looked about the same as we did in the Germany match in the second half, and then seeing what the rest of the world has. I personally don't think people can say the MLS can be taken seriously until we can keep the majority of players like your Christian Pulisic, your
hmm
Weston McKennie, your Aronson, your Tyler Adams. I'm sure I'm forgetting some that we could add throughout the whole roster, but every one of those guys except for Pulisic started at an MLS academy. Tyler Adams even premiered a couple matches at right back for Red Bull for New York Red Bulls. So Brendan Aronson came out of Philadelphia Academy, played a couple matches for their senior team. Until the MLS can spend the money to keep those players at home, whether it's at a different, in their home country, like every other major country in the world is able to do, sporting country in the world is able to do. The MLS will not have made it, and the U.S. men's national team will not have made it, despite winning a World Cup or making a World Cup final. It will not be sustained success until those players are able to stay in country.
absolutely. I made anything to add before we move on?
No, man. I think we covered it all. I think.
Beautiful. All right. So the next topic and how we're gonna be rounding up the night
Hmm.
is gonna be obviously the playoffs. As we have mentioned before, we are going to be facing Nashville FC. They lost their last game to Red Bulls 1-0, allowing Red Bulls to get into the postseason, 14th year in a row. And I have to tell you guys, the there's action. Because we are obviously we're gonna have the wild card games this week, and I'm gonna mention them here in a second. So I just want to remind everybody, the next home game for Orlando City is gonna be our round one home game, October 30th, 7 p.m. Monday. That's next Monday, and I will take the opportunity to let you know next week we're gonna have our show on Wednesday, to obviously for us to go to the game. The following day is Halloween, and I understand. Excuse me. There's a lot of people that celebrate, take out their kids, and all that. So we want to give everybody the opportunity to enjoy themselves. So Wednesday, 9 p.m. We're gonna be back next week to talk about hopefully a win. If you haven't gotten your tickets, I don't know what you're waiting for. Obviously, getting to downtown on a Monday is difficult. People have to work. Kids have to go to school. I get all that. I have mentioned to the guys that had it not been for my surgery, I probably wouldn't be in town. I would have missed this, and it would have been devastating to me. But thank God I can be there. I'm gonna be on the wall. So it's gonna be my. I haven't been on the wall since 2019, so it's a good return. It took me a week to recover the last time I went there. God knows what is gonna happen this time, but just wanted to experience it on playoffs. And this Wednesday, guys, we have our two uh, wild card games, and that is going to be 7:30 New York against Charlotte in the East. Winner will be taking uh, is going to be taking Cincinnati in the first round. And at 9:30 that same night, we have Kansas City and San Jose. Winner will be taking care of uh, St. Louis City in the first round. It's going to be very interesting. Kansas City, San Jose, with two MLS Cups to their tally. Charlotte, first time in the postseason, and quite honestly, one of the hottest teams out of these four. And Red Bulls, in this by a miracle from God. I just don't see those guys in Cincinnati. But hey, the postseason is a postseason. New York, founding member of the league, has never won the MLS Cup. So it's gonna be interesting. Guys, do you have anything to say about? I mean, let's start with you. Do you guys have anything to say about what you expect this Wednesday with these teams that basically are just happy to be here?
You know what? I'm actually looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be they're gonna be great matchups. I'm hoping for an unexpected outcome. I'll say that because everybody's gonna be watching. Everybody was watching the other day when they were waiting to see who's gonna have.
No, for sure.
Yeah, my son showed me a video clip of I don't remember which team it was that was watching the outcome of the Red Bull game, and when they scored, everybody just walked away from the screen that they were watching it on. It was the players. I think who was it? Montreal. It was
Yeah, Montreal, because
It was just
because of that win they were out, which is
yeah.
cruel to the sport.
So it's gonna. I feel like it's gonna be another repeat like that. It's just it'll be fun.
No, absolutely, absolutely. John, anything to add to that?
Just that, if I read the graphic correctly earlier, the New York Red Bulls have the longest consecutive years making the postseason
In North America.
history at 14 seasons.
Yeah, in North America on any sport.
Yep.
So good for them. I mean, if it wasn't because our Lions are in it, I wish them well, go all the way. But I gotta be honest with you, I just don't see it. I mean, but kudos to the interim manager. I think it's very difficult this season. Clubs fire managers left and right. This is probably one of the first seasons in MLS where you have to really talk about who's staying rather than who's fired, because a lot of people were given the axe, rightfully so, by the way. It's industry of results, and it's if you don't win, you gotta go. How it is. That's how I operate. I don't fall in love with nobody. I'm one of those guys that, hey, the how it is what you done for me lately. So with that said, the playoffs start this Saturday, October 28th. First game is going to be Philadelphia receiving New England at 5 p.m. At 8 p.m., we're going to have LAFC versus receiving Vancouver. Then Sunday, October 29th, we're going to have Houston welcoming Salt Lake. Cincinnati, obviously, is going to have the winner of the game between Red Bulls and Charlotte. Then St. Louis with the winner between Kansas City and San Jose. Monday, I don't know if you ever heard of this team, the almighty Orlando City against Nashville, 7 p.m. And closing the night, it's going to be Seattle receiving Dallas at 9 p.m. Wednesday, Columbus is going to be being the host of Atlanta. And that basically is going to let us know who's going to be moving on now who's going to be basically taking the first games out of the best of three series. I was going to say who's going to be moving on to the next step or next I don't know what you call it, the next round. Thank you. Had a senior moment. So obviously this year is different. Well, guys, we're playing Nashville, a team that where we had mixed results. This time around, we went to their house. We beat them in a very nasty way. That's the way you do to rivals. I always saw Nashville as a rival. It's a team that joining MLS after us in USL. They could never match our success. They come in. They have been in the postseason in every year of their existence. They have made it into very important finals. The League's Cup. In my opinion, they could have won it. They just gave it away to Pessy and company. So Hani Mokhtar, a guy that has been a killer here in Orlando, a guy that has given us nightmares alongside with their goalkeeper, either Panico or I can't remember the name. It just escapes my head just a second ago. If I think of his name, I'll let you know. But they have a good they have a good team that has given us trouble in the past. Obviously, this is not the Orlando City of yesteryear. We have made the 4-2-3-1 formation ours, and we're very good at it. And we have a lot of weapons, and one of them, obviously, Duncan McGuire. What is your expectation come Monday night, 7 p.m. at Exploria Stadium when we're taking on the Nashville Football Club in what could be a historical season or a disaster? Go ahead. Let's start with you, John.
Honestly, Monday, realistically, I'm very worried because Nashville feels like they were slighted in their match at home for at least getting a draw, even though we beat them at their own game. But the fan in me is like, we should crush them. We're position for position, except for maybe at the number 10 or wherever Mukhtar decides to play that night. We have them beat. I would take Janssen up against Zimmerman or AC up against Zimmerman any day, center back to center back. We should beat them. We should beat them handedly. It should be 3-0, 3-1, 4-0, 4-1, something like that. And honestly, that's the way the boys should go out there. Is that they're going to absolutely decimate them, embarrass them, humiliate them. So when we go into Nashville, there's that thought in the back of Nashville's mind that's like, well, they beat us playing our game and beat us 1-0, and then we play them at home and they humiliated us playing their game. What are we going to do how are we going to beat these guys? So we need to absolutely destroy them next Monday. But again, it's Nashville. It's a team we've beaten twice in MLS play, 3 times if you include the PKs last year. In all competitions, we beat them 3 times. So we haven't done it much, and that's my worry.
Awesome, Ahmet.
David, this is what I've been talking about every week for the last few weeks. We have to come out. Well, wait, it is the playoff, right? There's no more. After this, there is no more. We need to play like there is no tomorrow every single game, especially since it's Nashville. We have 3 games, and we can't say, okay, let's do this. We need to win game 1 like it is the last game that we're playing. We need to come out with a vengeance. We need to come out to destroy them. Because if we don't, the rest is going to be uphill for me, right? We need to come out like that because I feel like the last time we played them, we won. But we did not win like I felt we should have, right? We needed to set a tone that we didn't. So I feel like this is our only chance to set it because we don't want to go in behind. And from what I understand, the way these games are played is if it's tied at the end, it goes to PKs.
Yes, sir.
You know what? I do not want to win on PKs. I don't care how good we are at PKs. I want to win in regular time. I want to win at the 90-minute mark. I want to win like we should win. I know we can, right? And we've done it. We just need to do it starting on Monday 30th. I can't. That's it. That's all I can say.
And one thing I would like to add, thank you, Ahmed, for reminding this important and critical point, is that there has to be a winner. And the reality, my friends, is that we have won every single one of our PK shootouts since 2011. But like I have said before, all streaks, good or bad, come to an end. And how cruel would be to lose our first PK shootout, uh, in a way where we concede our opportunity to stay alive in the playoffs. And I just think that just like you boxers don't have to leave it to the judges. They have to win by knockout, win concisely. I think we have to do the same. We have to go win. There's no excuses. There's no excuses. There's a rumor that Torres may be on the move. The fact of the matter is, if that's true, it's a self fulfilling prophecy for me because when I spoke with Jorge Torres' dad the night that he arrived in Orlando, um, a night that I organized, other people out there say that, oh, well, it wasn't support group, it wasn't the support group, it was yours truly. I'm tired of giving away my due to people that had nothing to do, that did nothing. So there you go. I told him that I felt that he was only gonna be here in Orlando no more than 2 seasons, and everything that this kid has touched, gold. I mean, the goal against Arsenal, Open Cup Championship, with that beautiful brace, and he has saved us many many times. And it wasn't until Duncan started finding his scoring boots that we really got this cranking because for a time it was Facundo Torres and 11 other guys or 10 other guys. So let's not forget that. So with that said, we gotta win, guys. We have to win. If we lose, we are at home, and I don't want people to say, "Oh, well, it's a Monday night." We're playing in Nashville on a Tuesday. A city the same size as ours, with the same constrictions, the same problems. I mean, this is a match tit for tat, my friends, with a manager that was the former manager of Stevenage. Take a shot for those playing. And a guy that I know very well, although he was the manager of Stevenage before my time. But I have a lot of friends that know this guy. A lot of people that work in the club that understand Gary Smith, his way of thinking. Gary Smith has two things going against him, my friends. He does not do well when the plan changes. He can adapt very well to changes on the pitch. Okay. And also, he is set on his ways. He is English to a fault. He's gonna do it this way, and this is the way we're gonna do it, even if it means going down to hell in a handbasket. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, I'm gonna put it to you. The game in Open Cup last year against them is exactly that. They had us against the ropes. He felt, hey, 80th minute, this is done. Took out his most offensive weapons, and what happened? Rodrigo Schlegel happened. Then they got a red card. Then we went to PKs, and the magic of the cup displayed itself once again. And it was funny and interesting that I watched that game with my friend Colin from Stevenage and his girlfriend, and they couldn't believe it because they said these are the same reasons why he was fired from Stevenage. This right here. So now, guys, do you do? I mean, now that I said that about our opposition, do you think that Oscar Pareja is up for the task? Because I mean, at this point, he's planning to stay here. He has a success, most points in a season record, second in the league, second in the East, most wins. The guy basically at this point is printing his own re-signing contract. What do you guys think? Let's start with you, Ahmed, and then go ahead and go to John.
I'll tell you what we're not ready for: to be out in the first round.
Okay.
That honestly, that's the one thing I could say because that for me is the most painful part of this season. For that conversation to go any further, we have to get past this first round, and then that's another conversation after. If we're out, if it's 2 games and out, or even the 3 games and out, that's a tough conversation to have. I think we
I
need to
agree.
go through that first round, hands down. Not even it can't even feel like it was lucky. It has to be like we earned that second round. We can't just win by pins, right?
Hmm.
Because after we went through this season with the Leagues Cup and the Open Cup and all of that, I think that's what we need to feel comfortable going forward.
No, I agree. I agree. Go ahead, John.
I said it a couple shows ago, said it over the summer. He does not stay on unless we make the semifinals, unless we make the conference finals against Cincinnati. And I mean, cool. It's awesome. We had a great regular season, big turnaround starting in May. Set club records with what we did in during the season with wins and total points and all of that. But think about the teams that have been undefeated in sports in the United States. The one I think of is the New England Patriots 10 years ago or whenever that was that
Hmm.
happened. Yeah, they went undefeated, but they didn't win the Super Bowl. Same with the Dolphins.
Yeah, there you go. I remember that.
I don't know if the Dolphins won, but I don't pay that close attention to the NFL. But so is this going to be a season? Yeah, we had a great season, but we got knocked out in the first round, or is this going to be we had a great regular season, made it to the conference finals, took Cincinnati all because I think after this first round they go extra time and then kicks, right?
No, there's no extra time. It's straight up to the penalties.
I hate that, but okay, we take FC Cincinnati all 90 minutes, ends drawn. We take and then we lose in penalty kicks in the conference finals. That's acceptable. It's a first that's building on what you did in the regular season.
Hmm.
Best regular season in club history should lead to the best regular season or postseason in club history. Not this. Oh, we had a great regular season, but we got knocked out the first one. Oh, but we got knocked out the
Yeah.
conference semifinals. And that is what it is. They have to keep building on what they did in the regular season. My biggest fear, and I said this 2 shows ago, is Poppy is going to revert back to his preferred style of play, which is, a very defensive style, absorb the
Hmm.
pressure, try to hit them on the counter. You can get away with that a little bit with Nashville, like we did up there, but it's a very boring style of soccer to play. It'll put all of us in the stands asleep, especially the people watching from home asleep. So that's my biggest concern. We have to reach the conference finals in order for him to be renewed in this season to be considered a success.
No, absolutely. I want to remind everybody, is if you follow us on social media, you saw that I went with my sons to these player signings that they had at Publix's all over town. Um, Great experience. Get to meet the players, talk to them, you know, collect some signatures on a exclusive playoff poster. If you haven't had the opportunity, I invite you to consider going this week. And I would like to, now that we're rounding up, I would like to tell you where can you find this or find these players. Wednesday, October 25th, between 6 p.m. and 7:30, Mikey Holiday and Wilfredo Rivera are going to be at the Publix in Boggy Creek. That's 2625 Simpson Road, Kissimmee, Florida. I'm going to go to that one. And then same day, 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m., Luca Petraso and Fabian Loyola are going to be at the Publix at Plaza Echo. This is on 3171 South Orange Avenue, downtown Orlando. And Friday, Felipe Martins and Mason Stoddard are going to be between 6 p.m. 7:30 p.m. at the Publix in Winter Garden. This is at 10650 Avalon Road in Winter Garden. I'm sorry. And rounding the weekend, this is the one that I expect to be pandemonium. It's gonna be Friday, October 27th, 6 p.m. 7:30, 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Duncan McGuire, the Nebraskan assassin, alongside Shaq Mohammed, who is fresh from his international duty with Somalia, are going to be at the Publix at Alafaya Trail. This is going to be 4250 Alafaya Trail in Oviedo. So I'm gonna be to that. I'm gonna be going to that one.
Yep.
So hopefully, I'll catch up with you guys in one of these locations. Go support the boys. Let them know that they're loved, that they're cared for, that you support everything they do. I had the opportunity to do that with to four players this week, and trust me, they appreciate it. They really need to hear it because unfortunately, all they hear is 25,000 people screaming at once, social media, but to have that personal touch. And by the way, kudos to the team to finally understanding that that the fans want to see this. The fans don't want a wall between themselves and the players. They want to meet the players. They want to show support, and also it puts the team, uh, in front of the community. There was a lot of people, at least from our perspective, that did not know that Orlando had a team. Perhaps are new in town or they just don't pay attention. And to hear, oh, these guys are playing the playoffs, this, that, and the other. There was a lot of people that were willing to give Orlando City a chance. So, with that said, all right, guys. So we're rounding up things. Um, Obviously, Monday we're not gonna be here. We're gonna be at the stadium, celebrating a victory. I have to say, if we can talk about the season, uh, exciting season. There was a lot good, a lot bad. I had a lot of fun with my family and friends at the stadium, as we always do. It was just a fantastic season so far. We don't know what's gonna happen. A lot of people think it's our year. I'm gonna tell you, a lot of people think it's our year, that we're dangerous and we can win it all. If we do, baby, don't wait for me at home. Don't wait for me at home. Just wait for the phone call from either the county jail or the hospital. One of those two places. Because I'm not coming home. If you thought I was obnoxious, if you thought I was unlikable, for the happy clappers, the cornhole tailgate champions, you are gonna get it from me. I'm gonna pitch invade naked. I mean, forget it. It's gonna be insane if we win it all. Because I got news for you. If MLS Cup, if we make it all the way, it's gonna be played here. There's only one other place that can be played, and that's Cincinnati. So if they're out or we get them out either way, it's gonna be here. If I have to rob a bank, I'm gonna buy my ticket. So I expect to see you there because I'm certainly gonna be. Guys, any parting words before we say goodbye for the week?
I think you said it all, man. At least for me.
All right, my brother, John.
Yeah, I got it's. This is the biggest match of the season coming up. Show up, be loud, take Tuesday off if you have to. I already did. Or just show up and don't talk to people at work on Tuesday. But find a way to get there. The boys appreciate it. The boys have put in the hard work this year. Poppy's put in, despite our criticisms, or maybe as a result of, depending on the people you ask.
Of course.
Our criticisms. Poppy's put in the hard work this year, turn this team around into somebody, a team that we can be proud of, and a team that the experts, the people you see on TV and on Twitter talking, hey, Orlando City has a chance. They're real contenders. Was it Greg Doyle today put us beating Seattle in the MLS Cup championship?
Oh, wow.
So, people are talking about us. People are talking about us good. Now let's show up and show that Orlando is a true soccer town here in the United States, because people have made fun of us, and let's be loud.
No, for sure. Listen, people gonna talk about whatever they want. One of the things that we say in this podcast all the time is that football is not played on paper, on grass. The ball is around here. The ball is around in Nashville. The pitch is green in Nashville, and the pitch is green here as well. So I'm not going to, I'm seriously not going to get upset or cry about anything. One thing I have to say is I want to thank everybody that has supported us this year. Obviously, for me personally, very difficult year on a personal note. Being part of three podcasts in 1 year. And again, I love the club. I love what the club stands for. I wanna thank the people who have supported us. Our good friend Danny, who created the intro that you see for the show. Also, he created the one for a 90 minutes podcast. Show that should have never died, but that's a story for another day. I want to thank John, our good friend Jonathan and Brian, who were part of that. Obviously, Ahmed and John, who had joined me here. I want to thank the people that always stop me at the stadium. And shout out to my guy Dimitri, who took my picture with Kyle Smith and Jacqueline, and who told me that he watches the show. Thank you very much, my friend. Your words reinvigorated me because it's important to know that there's people watching out there. I always say it's my mom and 10 other people that are just scrolling through the social media. But there's other people that support us. I would love for more people to get involved, coming on the show and commenting. I believe it was more lively. I know a lot of people tell me, "Hey, man, it's kind of late to watch us live," but they support us on audio and they support us on video later on during the week. So I want to thank the people that were live. Thank you very much for that. I want to thank the people that thumb down our videos, the people that talk trash about us. You are the reason why we do this because, we have to educate our fan base on how to be loyal and faithful and not think with yeah, you can think with your heart, but also there's times where you have to put that to the side and think with your head. We love Orlando City. We love the players. We love the manager. We love everything about the club. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing this for free. Well, it costs us money to do this, and to obviously use our own time to do that. And I have to tell you that if there's somebody that loves this club, is the three people that you're watching online right now, or the people that you have heard of tonight. Our purpose is never to hurt the club or to attack anybody. Now, if you are going to use my insults as taglines on your social media, know that you're just proving exactly what I've been saying. You are only here to be seen, and you don't understand the football. And you are a happy clapper. You are a cornhole uh, tailgate champion, and I'm glad that you're embracing that. Um, that's it. That's all I have to tell you, my friend. I know you watch us. I know you thumb our videos, and I just have to say that we're the victims of you, and not the other way around. And whatever you have to say is meaningless because nobody knows your name. But David Valentin, he's a household name. So I'm gonna leave it with that. Guys, thank you very much for joining us tonight. I appreciate it. And hold on, somebody send me a private chat. Let's see here if I'm missing something or is. All right. Okay. I just gotta leave it at that. All right. So with that said, thank you guys very much. Like I said, reminding everybody that we're live on Twitch, we're live on X, we're live on YouTube at David's Channel 76. Everything else is on the Capo Stand, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads. We need to be more active, guys, on Threads and TikTok. We're definitely gonna be doing that. I just found out the other day we had TikTok. I was like, John, I was on TikTok and I saw that we have a channel. So we have to use that. All right, guys, I'll stop rambling. Thank you very much. We want to say goodbye to you guys. We always do. Reminding you that football is the sport for those that don't mind getting their mouth smashed, their hearts broken. Football is played on grass, not on paper. Football is cruel and unpredictable. Any football has not made you cry for joy or anger. Have you ever football? That's a question you should ask yourself. Thank you very much. From John, Ahmed, and yours truly, David. May God bless you. And as always, vamos, Orlando.